Hey family, it's your girl, Ms. Mofilla, and you already know we are inside the maze with an extra special dose of the critical breakdown. Maybe a dropout? I'm trying to figure out how I can incorporate dropout into the dose, but it didn't really work out that well. Anyway, we got the man, the myth, the legend, the face behind the Dropout Summit. A lot of mental health movements that have been going on specifically for the male species and anybody that can get it, honestly, in this city and region and all over, quite frankly. The one and only, Kurt Faustin is finally here. Oh my goodness. Instant applause. All that good stuff. Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm so glad to have you here, Kurt. How are you doing today, first of all?
I'm tired of shit.
Yeah, we all tired of shit. We've been working, okay? We've been working.
But we're here.
We are here, and I'm excited to talk to you and talk about all that is Kurt Faustin and what you do, and who you are, okay? And we're gonna get into it, man. It's the critical breakdown. Let's get straight to it. Now listen, Kurt, we met oh gosh, I don't want to throw no numbers on it, but it's been a long time. I feel like when I first got into the media game, you were one of the faces that I got to know. And your growth since then, the numbers speak for themselves. They don't lie. The work speaks for itself. I know who you are. A lot of people, at least 26,000 people know who this man is. But for those who are living under a rock, can you run that LinkedIn, so to speak, resume of all the things that is Kurt Faustin?
I don't even know where to begin with that, I started an organization called The Dropout, and it's focused on mental health and emotional intelligence, right? So I'm basically the face behind it, just being very focusing on speaking about mental health, emotional intelligence, specifically for the Black and brown culture, more specifically for us millennials. You know what I'm saying? Just really trying to provide tips, gems for us to, you know, grow to another level. Okay,
he did that real good. You've been practicing that, haven't you?
A little bit.
He's a professional here. I can't, what am I gonna do here? What am I gonna do? Now listen, what was it that got you to this point? Because I feel like we all have that story and that pivotal moment, right? That lands us here. We kind of was going down one path and then life happens. And then we actually follow the path we're supposed to be on, right? So tell me, what was that for you, Kurt?
I have multiple pivotal moments. But one of the biggest ones, like, I went to 9 schools, 4 high schools, 5 colleges, didn't graduate, and all of them failed me. You know what I'm saying? So many of us, you know, we have that theory or that mentality that you're supposed to go to school to get a good job, and that good job's going to give you the
American dream.
The American dream, or I've skipped a step. You go to school to get a degree, and that degree is going to give you a good job. You get what I'm saying? And unfortunately, for many of my friends, we thought that was the model for success.
We were all taught that, honestly.
All taught that. And that shit was bullshit, you know what I'm saying? It was bullshit. They failed us. They failed us in so many different ways, shapes, and forms. And I said I went to 4 high schools, 5 colleges, and word to my mother, I can't remember one of them teachers' names. You know what I'm saying?
Come on. And it's crazy that I can relate, because we were both 2 products of people. I always tell people I might be a teacher, but I was the worst student in American history. You understand me? I hate school. I hated school.
See, I
but
that.
You see how doesn't mean that you're less gifted, less successful, less talented. Just academia is not necessarily your route, right?
It's not, and I think they're training us to fail versus training us to be successful. And so when I saw that, and then when I didn't graduate due to I didn't realize colleges was a business versus trying to educate the future.
I didn't realize that. You mean a scam and a scheme? Don't get me started.
Crazy. How you gonna say like the future is getting a degree per se, and you put a price tag on the future, so that means some people can afford it, some people can't. And I was forced to drop out with over $100,000 worth of school loans because I couldn't get a cosigner.
And talk about that amount of debt, because the amount that you have to pay for the education never equates to the amount that you get paid after you achieve that education. And that's the setup that they don't tell you about, right?
That's absolutely the setup they don't tell you about. And even more importantly, from early age to college, whatever the case is, they're not teaching us the topics that we need to be successful financially, to be mentally successful, for us to be physically successful. We're not taught credit. We're not taught anything about stress management, mental health, farming, entrepreneurship. We're not taught none of that shit.
Basic trades.
Basic trades. We're not taught that.
No.
So when I went there, and then I looked around me, I saw all of my peers who had degrees, they were failing mentally and emotionally, financially. I saw myself in certain situations and I was tempted to do certain things.
Yeah.
I was like, nah.
There's gotta be another way. There's gotta be, right.
You dig what I mean? They're not teaching us. I'm like, oh, this was a game.
It definitely
I
was.
fell for it. I'm like, nah, we're switching it up. That's where I'm like, you know what? We're going to drop all of that mindset. That was where it came from.
So that's where that whole dropout concept started from. Okay.
Yeah, we got to drop out of it.
Now tell me, you're as a mental health advocate, especially for our Black and brown people, what was that? I know specifically because I feel like I unofficially have kind of joined that team of like, that's what I want. I want safe spaces for Black and brown people to be able to develop themselves mentally, emotionally, intellectually, all of the above. What was that purpose drive for you? Like, what was your environment like that made you see, like, all right, I really want to be a staple and I want to be a conduit, so to speak, for my people? A lot of us just grew up and we've seen and been exposed to so many different things, shapes and forms. I'm Haitian, right? Okay. I'm
first generation Haitian, and there's a beautiful story to that, but there's also the other side of that story as well. And so understanding that and experiencing just the regular bullshit in life, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We all been through it all.
My favorite thing to do is be unfiltered, so I'm gonna get down to that nitty gritty of that other side. So I'm gonna get down here. You see that arm movement, right? I'm gonna get down here. So I'm gonna shed a little bit of mine, and hopefully it'll inspire you to do the same. I know for me, that other side of my experience within family and culture, right, was a lot of unhealed trauma, like things that we were kind of taught to barrel through or go to God, or go say a prayer about it and it'll be okay, versus actually learning tools to process, learning how to acknowledge or even identify emotions, things of that sort. Was that similar for you in the Haitian? I'm a Black American, by the way, but was that same for you in the Haitian culture?
Yeah, it's the same shit, right?
Yeah.
Same shit, different cultures, right? My mom dealt with depression, right? So my mom dealt with depression, and kids model the behaviors they see around them. So I didn't realize until I was older, I was picking up traits from someone who was depressed, as I'm my mom's only child. So that's where I didn't even realize my passion of mental health was actually, passed down to me. You dig what I mean? Like, oh shit, my mom's depressed, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I didn't have healthy coping mechanisms. Why aren't schools teaching that shit? You dig what I mean?
Okay.
I didn't have healthy coping mechanisms, and especially in our communities. What coping mechanisms are we taught?
Come on.
Sex, entertainment, spending money.
Or substance.
Or substance abuse, right? So a lot of friends, I started smoking weed when I was 12 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know so many people that smoke, there's nothing wrong with that.
Of course.
But at that age, I did it to cope with stress.
Absolutely.
And I didn't know, and then it was the trendy shit to do.
Right.
So I was doing that, and then that led to whatever the case is, but it's the same shit.
Same old shit, right?
I'm crazy.
I feel like most Black and brown households, we kind of all have that similar experience,
shit.
right? You right? Same old shit. You feel me?
No, I'm crazy.
That's crazy. Now tell me, being somebody who's been a mental health advocate, what are some of the major themes you see within Black and brown communities that we're still kind of fighting with?
Friendships.
Ooh, that was not an answer I was expecting.
Of course not.
Oh my goodness.
Give me that typical shit, the trauma. Friendships. Let's go into it, right?
Let's get to it.
I think Black males, we do a shitty job on knowing how to develop platonic relationships.
Ooh.
Like,
I felt that on so many levels. Ooh.
Yeah, we fail at that. We suck at developing platonic relationships where we could just know someone and understand them for their characteristics versus just they're, you know, skin deep.
Okay.
And I think and I believe because a lot of us are not emotionally mature, we tend to bring our baggage and we pass it around to one person, to the next person, to the next person. And because a lot of us Black males, our coping mechanisms of dealing with stress, anxiety, and fear, whatever the case is, financial issues tends to be sex, and that's an outlet for us. I don't think we realize how we're passing around so much emotional bullshit to one woman, to the next woman, to the next woman, and unfortunately in our communities, who's the breadwinners? The woman. Right? Who's the most successful people in our communities? The woman. Who's the one that's developing and creating more businesses? Woman. And so now I'm looking at a community where I've seen so many women complain that they're dating down and they're dealing with that stress and emotions, and men are dealing with that stress and emotions of not even knowing how to be in a relationship because they don't have a good relationship with themselves.
Kurt, you're opening up a bag.
No, I'm just saying.
We're about to go into it. We're about to get into that bag. We're about to get into it. I appreciate you even going into that transition. As a Black woman who is successful, relatively, right?
Talk that shit.
I haven't had the complaint of dating down, so to speak, but specifically in this region, I'm not gonna say all the way around, in this region, the scarcity is very real for us. It's very real, okay? I think we had this conversation during Uncomfortable Conversations. A lot of times, do Black men in Boston even like, or even see us Black women, like, do we exist? But you brought up a point about the platonic side of things, because I feel like it applies with men and women, Black men and women dealing with each other as well. I feel like a lot of times, I've been guilty specifically, where I genuinely want a platonic friendship with a male, but things get crossed, things happen, and because of unhealthy mechanisms, you end up slipping and crossing lines you're not supposed to be doing, right? So what are some of the skills that you teach on maintaining a platonic relationship?
Well, I don't go crazy in teaching myself. Like I'm very honest. I don't go crazy in teaching, developing platonic relationships. The first thing I'm doing, because I teach emotional intelligence, is the first step is self-awareness. Right? So let's bring awareness to this, because I know what's needed for you might be different than what's needed for me. Can we stop objectifying each other? Is that possible? I don't fucking know. You get what I'm saying? I don't know, but let's bring awareness to that shit. Let's have that conversation, because I guarantee you can teach me some shit that I don't know, and vice versa. You get what I'm saying? So I love to create the space of let's have that conversation. Let's teach each other. Let's uplift each other, elevate, and all that good stuff.
You're speaking my language. You know that's my favorite thing to do, is have those conversations. Absolutely. Now, speaking of having those conversations, the Dropout Summit, okay? This has been, I literally watched this thing grow. Since the day you started it to the big to-do it's been now. My God. I was so upset that I didn't get to make it to this year's because I was out of town, but I will be at the next one. Mark my words, and I'm putting Kurt on the spot here on camera. I will be at the next one, okay? Tell us what the thought process was behind the Dropout Summit.
The thought, to be honest, all right, so all honesty, I never even said this on camera. The real thought behind it was, I know that me and even a couple others in the city are super talented when it comes to being on stage. We're gifted with the mic, and I didn't feel like we're getting that fair shake or that look.
You about to make me walk off set because
I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it, and I wanted to. It was twofold, right? I wanted to prove the point. If I grab some of your favorite people that you look up to, you put them on the same stage as me, I guarantee you I could do just as good or even better. So that was the first thing.
I love that concept, though.
I'm just competitive.
I like that, though, because I feel like we don't shine a light on healthy competitiveness, right? Because let's be real, we all get inspired by our competition, so to speak, right? If you see somebody that's in the same lane as you doing something, it should light a fire under your ass to want to do something yourself. Otherwise, you're just a hater who sits back and point at what other people do, but you don't do nothing yourself, okay?
Honestly, yeah.
Honestly.
So that was the first mindset. There was another school of thought that at that time, I wasn't getting booked like that. Everything I was getting booked for was like, hey, want to do a free community event. Which there's nothing wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong, but can we pay our bills with exposure?
Can we? And I don't think in this region, there's not a big speaking industry.
That's real.
So a lot of people will volunteer their time to speak, and they think that
it kills the game.
It kills the game because there's other people who are professional and public speakers. There's nothing wrong with that. There's just a little bit of a difference. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So I want to try to open up that lane here in Boston, because what summits to that magnitude is really happening like that in the city. There was none. You get what I mean? You have to go to Atlanta, you have to go to DC, you have to go to Chicago, you gotta go to Houston, you gotta go to Miami. But why the hell are we coming here to Boston?
Right, where there's a huge black history, black population, all of the above.
So it's like, no, why don't we bring this shit to the city and see what we could do? And I'm, just bet on myself and thought I could make it work. Okay, listen, well, I'm glad you bet on yourself, and you definitely made it work, and it continues to grow from there. Tell me, what is the goal from Dropout Summit? The goal now is the goal now is to teach tangible skills. So I'm challenging myself specifically, like this year, can we not just have these feel-good conversations? Can we make sure when you leave there and you be like, oh shit, I know what's the very next step I need to do for my finances, or the next step I could do to develop my career, or the next step I could do to get my mindset in a different place and space. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now, to me, it's all about the numbers. If I could go at the next day after Dropout Summit and be like, yo, we got 500 people, 90% of 500 people said they were able to shift their mindset, that's just success. Now we talk about impact, you dig what I mean? Not just this feel-good moment where everyone comes together and all that, but now let's try to really make true impact.
Listen, I love the way you think, Kurt. I absolutely love the way you think and the way you move, quite frankly. Quite frankly. I want to transition just a little bit, because along with the Dropout Summit, which is kind of like your main baby, so to speak, you've also been hired all over the country to give speaking engagements, but I've seen a specific partnership. Is it with Harvard?
Harvard Ed Portal, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's that partnership look like with you?
We have more talks next week, which is dope. It started off, Marissa. Shout out to Marissa. Okay. She gave me an opportunity. She works at Harvard, and she wants to bring more diversity to Harvard. She's like, yo, Kurt, why don't you come in? I see what you do here. Why don't you come do it over here? As we have a resource center where we provide, resources, free resources to people that are looking to learn about business, A, B, C, and D, E, F, G, which is dope. I did it back in March, which was cool. It worked out really well. We had like a 6-part series. It was wild. Like, I was there like the whole month of March I was there. And then they loved what I was able to bring, because it was a little bit different. If you see my workshops, you know I'm not like your typical.
I'm gonna cut you off because, baby, that's what caught my eye. It was this man at Harvard getting on the stage talking about, I'm like, what? But I love that. Speaking to a millennial crowd, nobody's got time to be up there being all stiff and stuffy. But I'm like, he brought Boston to Harvard, and I'm here for it, absolutely. Tell me, what was that experience, or what did that feel like? Because there's a 2-part to that question, right? How does it feel as a black boy from Boston? You're from Boston, right? Raised here, okay. Raised in Boston, to be at the prestigious Harvard, right? And to be able to be your authentic self on that stage.
It's kind of dope. Yeah. You know why? I don't know a lot. I know a lot of people who are born and raised in Boston, but I don't know a lot of people who went to Harvard.
Come on.
I just don't know.
That's real.
I don't know why Harvard is not trying to get more into the city and get some of the local talent. So if you look at a lot of the students, a lot of them are international students. Obviously the dollars, whatever the case is, but I feel like they should be invested in places like Cambridge versus owning all the property.
Come on.
Right? They should be invested in places like Dorchester, Mattapan, Roxbury, to get some of our students, whether it's the Cambridge Public Schools, BPS in there. So once you give me a shot to, give me a platform to do like that, and then all of a sudden you imagine you just see me there with a shirt and tie. That should be corny.
Come on, it's not right now.
So I just felt like I had no choice but to be myself. So it's like, if I will never get this opportunity again, I'm gonna go to bed happy.
Please do that and continue to do that, all right? Now, on the other side of that question is how did it feel looking out into the audience and seeing the demographic that's out there?
Yeah, it was crazy. We had like old people, young people, black, white. We had like it was just crazy. But when it's a little different when you're on stage. You understand? Like when you're on stage, you just kind of
on.
Yeah, you just on. You ready to go?
Okay, so I'm gonna ask the follow-up question. Clearly, they liked it because you've been back, right? Yeah. Clearly. Yeah. So what has been the response to your authenticity on that stage? Because these people don't necessarily look like you, right?
They don't.
What has been their response?
They like the pickles, you know.
Little pickles, little spice. Okay.
The reason why is like the numbers speak for itself. So the last series we had, they said was like the most successful one they had. The most registrations, all that stuff, and they're looking to bring me back. And so, but now if we're bringing me back, I needed to look.
I know that's right.
We needed to look a certain way. So they're doing great. Once again, Marissa, Danielle, they're like amazing people. But I wonder if we could like push it a little bit further. You get what I'm saying? If we could just up it a little bit more. So that's what we're looking to do. But once again,
a little bit more pickles. It's just a
little bit, but like. Thankfully, like I really believe in the idea of like I'm not just the only voice. There's so many other people out here. So in our series, many times we brought in a lot of different people. Like my man Manny from Everyone Gotta Eat was there. What up, man?
Shout out, Manny.
Like we brought in many people. I had Mickey there before. We Alex Edwards. There was so many. I'm probably going to forget names. It is what it is.
That's all right.
But we brought in so many other voices because it's not just me. Boston and outside of Boston, we're so talented.
Thank you.
I think
that's what I appreciate and admire about your movement. It's not just about Kurt Faustin. It's about we got a whole city of people that do this shit too, and we're actually all pretty dope.
Yeah.
But I also like that it's not just any and everybody. I'm gonna make sure we got good quality shit that I'm putting to the platform.
Our name's behind it.
I know that's right. We ain't putting our name just on anything. But I just want to transition just a little bit because I'm nosy and I be investigating, right? You guys posted a lovely picture. Shout out to fellas in Boston. It was all my homies. Hightower, you, James Lambert III, Umno the photographer.
Royale was there.
Listen, it was just like a majority of the men that are making or pushing the needle forward in the city. So when I see a room full of men like that meeting, I question, what y'all up to? What y'all got going on?
A lot of people don't know, because I was doing this a lot prior to COVID and a couple times around COVID. I used to put on a lot of different photo shoots and masterminds. Like consistently.
Oh, I do remember you doing that. I remember Hot Sauce being a part of one. One time I'll get on there.
We had our people, so we always had these photo shoots and like just bring people together, collective minds, chop it up, build, just building all that stuff. And I was like, no, I thought it was time to bring it back.
Okay, that's a statement. Okay, you brought it back. That's a major statement. That was hella dope.
My man Aunt Thomas was there too.
Oh yeah, can't forget about Aunt Thomas. My bad, Aunt. My bad, Aunt. That's the homie. Now tell me, I feel like you don't stop working, Kurt. Do you?
It's not work.
It's not work.
It's not work.
It's life for this man. I remember and I don't know if you still do them, the paper towel meme thingies that you would do on Instagram with the life lessons. I wanted to always learn that trick of writing one message on the side and then putting it in the water and then revealing another message. Tell me, because I feel like that's kind of how you built a following to a certain extent.
To a certain extent, I could be honest. I could be vulnerable,
please.
Right? So I used to do the napkin, used to do the napkin thing with a quote. Eventually, one of them went viral, and we had mad celebrities share it and repost it, which was fire, whatever the case is. But the business lesson I learned, I didn't brand myself behind it, and so there's the creators and then there's the imitators. And there was a lot of other accounts that started to just make, I know there's one guy, he has this whole page of napkin quotes. He has like over 100,000 plus followers. You go on his page, you're like, oh, he must be the, I'm like,
nope, actually
that's my shit. Almost, you know what I mean?
But I think that's an important part. A lot of creatives don't think about that business side of things.
You don't think about the business.
Oh, and it gets more frustrating when you see somebody taking your intellectual
property, man. It's my idea, and it's not the first idea that was stolen from me. I want suck ass.
Oh, now I'm ass.
Coffee, you see the coffee one that
yeah.
Oh yeah, they're finding different variations of it now.
Variations, which is dope. It's fire. Yeah. No ideas new under the sun, so I ain't mad at it.
Right.
So I slowed down because I remember this one person commented it. It's like, oh, look at you try and bring back the napkin trend, blah, blah, blah. I was like,
started it.
This motherfucker said, what? What'd you say to me? Yo, that shit pissed me off.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I calmed down a bit, but I might bring it back. We'll see.
I feel like if it's yours, own it. God damn it. Don't let these people tell you it's a trend. But no, I would ask the biggest question as a creative now who learned that hard lesson.
Yeah.
What's the message you would tell Kurt the creative as Kurt the business savvy creative now? What would you tell him?
There's so many things I would have told myself, right? Like when it started to build momentum, why didn't I reach out to certain brands that own napkins and be like,
would have been a partnership. What are we talking about?
Sponsorship.
Yeah.
Why didn't I take some of these quotes and tell these organizations they can license out the content? You get what I'm saying? Why did I just watermark my motherfucking name behind? Excuse my language.
No, please cuss.
You get what I'm saying?
Please
why
cuss.
did I just watermark my name so when some of these people were resharing it, they'd be like, oh, that's the guy, and they would have saw where it started. So there's certain things I could have done. Why didn't I strategically work with other accounts to be like, yo, repost it, and you see the watermark, so now you know it's me. You get what I mean?
Gotcha.
So there's certain things I should have and could have done, but it's
you
all
live and you learn, right?
But
that's why we get to have these interviews so somebody else can learn from what you had to live. Ooh, that's a bar. Okay, that's a bar. Now, anything in the I know you got something coming, so I feel like this is a silly question, but I have to ask it. What's in the future for Kurt Faustin and the Dropout Summit?
Dropout Summit, we're looking to do it outside the state.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
I want to go on tour.
So yeah.
You see, I be plugging myself. I want to go on tour. No, I'm joking. All right. So it's going to be like a tour situation, or you want to kind of like take it state by state?
Not state by state. Some of these states, fuck y'all.
Straight like that.
I don't want to go like.
I'm not fucking in Montana. What I'm doing in Montana. What are you doing?
I'm not trying to go to every state.
No, that's right.
Saying? I'm trying to go to certain places or cities. Like, there's DC, there's New York, there's Atlanta, Chicago. I love Chicago. There's certain cities we're looking at right now to see if we can bring it there. So that's one thing we're looking to do with the summit itself.
Dope. Now, with the summit, bringing it to other cities, be a space to highlight the talent in those specific cities? Or would you be showing everybody what Boston has to offer? I play too much. I play way too much.
Nah, it's not even playing. Like if I go, I know there's talented people in DC, Atlanta, and all that stuff, but.
Okay, that's real.
They're not like I'd rather bring either some of my people or some of the influencers as well, and just do a combination of both. So yeah, I'm more home team.
All right, I'm with that. I like that. I like the home team energy. I like it. Now, what's in the future for Kurt Faustin? Because that's a totally different beast from the Dropout Summit, right?
That is. So it's just more speaking engagements for sure. More focused speaking engagements.
Okay.
So like you'll never in your life see me on stage talking about, I don't know, carpets or coffee making. I'm just trying to really coin myself around this mental health and emotional intelligence for us Black and brown millennials. All
right. Yeah. I love that. Now I have to ask one final question, Kurt. I know as somebody who advocates for the mental health and the emotional intelligence, all the good keywords that we hear all the time. We ourselves deal with our own battles and demons and dark sides and shadows, right? So what is it that keeps you going, helping to motivate others even in the space where you can't even motivate yourself sometimes?
I have a very unhealthy relationship with working. I'm honest. Like I didn't.
That's real.
Yeah, I didn't realize my coping mechanisms to deal with shit was just to work. And then many entrepreneurs and creators understand, like, there is no such thing as work-life balance. I don't got that shit.
What is that?
Nah, I don't even believe in it, to be honest.
Right.
Or your social life might suffer, your personal life might suffer, you know what I'm saying? I'm a father, so that suffered a bit in certain ways. You get what I'm saying? Because you just put all of your energy in this idea of what tomorrow could look like. At times I lost gratitude in what today is. Ooh. You get what I mean? Okay. So I had to learn that, because you're so, like, as a visionary, you're so obsessed and excited, like this shit can look like that.
I know.
And we're always working towards that, but why not take a moment to breathe and enjoy the now?
Ooh, that is so hard.
You know what I mean? It's hard.
Real. It's so real.
It's hard as hell for me.
It is.
I'm like, 2024 is going to be the best year yet. 2025 is going to get better.
Right, because every year it's going to
it's going to get better. You dig what I mean? But what about today?
Right.
You get what I mean? What about, like, this moment, this energy, like, just enjoying the process? And for years, I didn't enjoy the process because I was obsessed about tomorrow, obsessed about the vision, and that's where I fucked up.
Ooh, that's a gem for myself. I'm going to take that and put that in my back pocket, because I definitely need to learn how to be in the present. I definitely got to learn that. I didn't realize how unhealthy my relationship with work was too. My heart's broken. Let me take on another project. Don't worry about it. Yeah. I got it. Don't worry about it.
Just suppress all your emotions. Like, let's just work. Let's just create.
I'm about to go crazy on them, and that's not the healthy way to process it.
No, it's crazy. They even say how entrepreneurs, how their divorce rate's higher. They're 3 times more likely to have substance abuse issues. You get what I'm saying?
Well, as a divorced pothead, I don't appreciate these statistics. Okay.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
It's right, okay? I have a statistic right in front of you. But no, it's true. It's absolutely true, because you become so obsessed in your passion that everything else becomes secondary, and a lot of people can't understand that. They really can't. They can't. But we also have to find that balance to make sure that we keep people around us, because we do. I'm not gonna speak for you. I understand that I'm scared to end my life, and I'm the onlyest one there. I have to make actual connections with people so that I can have people around me when I get old. That's all I think about, honestly.
I think the people that we love in life are people who are obsessed with something.
They can relate.
They were obsessed with something. Like, everyone who's great was obsessed with something. And I think this idea of balance is bullshit in ways.
I know that's right.
You need it to a capacity. Right. You need it incorporated every day, but I want to be so focused and pour into this idea of what the Dropout is about to be that you know what I mean? We're leaving a legacy. My son could look, oh shit, look at my, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's dope. It's dope, and I love the work that you're doing. I feel like we need it. Our black people need it. Our black men need you. Continue to move in your purpose.
Oh, we need you as well. Come on.
I'm trying. Man. No, I'm not trying. I'm doing. Now tell everybody who's living under a rock that's not a part of that almost 26,000 people. I actually think it's over 26,000. Let them know where they can find you, Kurt.
Type in Kurt Faustin.
It's just like that. Google him, bitch. What we talking about? No.
But we gotta say it the like Haitian way. Kurt Faustin. You know what I mean? Faustin. Okay. Yeah. We're building a movement that's bigger than me. Yeah. And really it's just for the people who honestly are looking to grow, and unfortunately they were failed by these educational institutions. We were lied to, and it's like, shit, where do we start now? That's what we're here for. We're trying to show you the starting point so you can achieve your success by focusing on your mental health and emotional wellness.
I feel like that's the major key, and based on how you align yourself and who you align yourself with, you're on that right path.
Appreciate that.
Thank you, Kurt Faustin. Okay, no, let me stop playing. Listen, as always, if you're looking for me, you can find me everywhere, Ms. Mofilla, and also follow my website, MsMofilla.com, to keep track of everything that I'm doing. Yeah. While you're at it, make sure you follow Inside the Maze with an underscore on Instagram, but everywhere else is just Inside the Maze.
I love
Facebook and Twitter. Also, make sure you like, follow, and subscribe. Hit that little notification bell down at the bottom so you keep track of everything we do here over at Inside the Maze, man. It's the Critical Breakdown. Ms. Mofilla, the one and only Kurt Faustin. Did I say it right?
Man,
Did I say it right?
I need an outro like that. Nah, let me do my outro again. Shit, that shit was crazy.
Let me redo it.
Nah, I'm good.
Let me run it back.
Nah, that shit was crazy.
Listen, from one professional to another, I appreciate that, man. Peace out, y'all.